Los Angeles in 1948. Faintly, if I do remember, during my student life, I was there for 5 years in Los Angeles. And one weekend, we decided, myself and a few friends of mine, they happened to be a Bengali, Punjabi, something like that. So let us go and spend the weekend to Mount Washington, because I heard there's a beautiful mandir and a beautiful garden spread out there. And well, during the afternoon, we can spend there for some time. We can have bhog and come back. Okay. So driving was my passion. So I used to drive and went to Mount Washington. There I saw a reasonable sized congregation. There, I think by the time we went there, and we had been roaming around, watching the beautiful topography of the place, we found that congregation was over, and people are coming out, the deities, they are coming out, the disciples, they also came out. Meanwhile, around 1 o'clock or so, I felt that, okay, let us go and have something to eat. And then after that we will go away. I was a student of 24 at that time. So I did not have that religious feeling or anything that I have come here for pujas or things like that. It was just weekend. And by the time we are roaming around and we are about to go and have our food with bhog, there comes a man, grabs hold of me and my friend, another friend, both are Bengali. He said, in Bengali he said, Tora kothao jabi na, Tora ekhon noy, age eder khete di, Tora amar shange খাবে, ধরে আছে আমার তাদের। তা ভাবলাম যে ঠিক আছে, all right, okay. So he showed us around his gardens and everything. And in the garden there are little shrubs and shrubberies. And in one of the shrubberies is a beautiful orange-like fruit. So I asked Swamiji, I said, well, what is it? He said, well, would like to know what it is. So he picked up one or two and just shoved inside my mouth. Huh? He said, now eat it. And I ate it. And mind you that it's a sweet, beautiful, wonderful, tasteful fruit. I could not imagine that a small shrub with this little fruit could be so sweet. Then he told me that it's a Chinese orange. Okay. After that, we went down the slope of the mountain and saw the gardens, the beautiful layout gardens. And eventually, Swami took us there. He said, well, you are hungry. Yes. I don't remember. I think we sat on the floor. Often I don't remember. And he sat beside us. The other friend of mine sat beside him, and we started eating. Now this much I remember, and at that time, I had no religious inclination in me. I was just a student of 24 years. I just happened to be there. But today, when I look back, those days. I do remember that cuddle, that tight hold on us by the Swamiji, and the way he treated us. From there, I realized that he was extremely fond of, I would say he was missing Bengal. No, I wouldn't say he was fond of. I was missing Bengal. And by the time he saw us speaking in Bengali, he grabbed hold of us and he started talking in Bengali. So this was the experience that I had. Then we came back. And by the time I returned back in India, perhaps in the year 1953 or 54, on a Republic Day of India celebration, which was organized by Indian community in Los Angeles, in a hotel called Biltmore Hotel, I still remember, where Swamiji was there. And after a few speakers, when Swamiji stood up, was emotionally so much surcharged that he just, he could see his eyes, glowing. And he said, my India, 2 to 3 times. And then he collapsed and he fell on the floor. Most of the people were rushed. What happened? What happened? Well, Swamiji's soul, he left his body on the floor and his soul saw the eternal eternity. So that was the last that I remember. Coming back to Calcutta, I had occasion to meet one Dr. Saroj Das. Dr. Saroj Das, at that time, his wife was Dr. Totini Das. I think many of you know Dr. Totini Das. She used to be the first, she was the first Bengali graduate from Calcutta University, from Bethune College or something like that. Both of them are highly educated. This Dr. Das, how I know? I stay in a place in Jodhpur Park as a tenant. And Dr. Das happened to be a relative of my landlord. So he happens to be there, and then when we interacted ourselves, he immediately said, you saw Paramhansa Yogananda? I said, yes. In fact, I told him the same thing as I told you today, the whole incident. It's really strange that every time this Sangh, you have been organizing meetings and discourses in Calcutta. Most of the time, I think, in the planetarium. And I thought of coming over there and speak to you this way. But somehow or other at this age, particularly from Jodhpur Park going to planetarium and coming back during office hours, it becomes a very, very difficult job for us, so I could not make it. But this time, because it is held here, I was eager, and I talked on the phone, and Pranab Babu picked up the phone, and he gave me the address and everything, and came back. I also happen to know Vishwanath Ghosh. Vishwanath Ghosh was a brother of Swamiji. Later on I came to know, I didn't know. And Vishwanath Ghosh, he was a bodybuilder. In Japan, Vishwanath coach demonstrated his feet by lying down and a moving car moving over his body. Now that was a feat that was, I think, was discussed, and we met Vishwanath Babu in my maternal uncle's place in one of the occasions. I think he had an akhara in near Kalighat Park or something like that. So this is all about my memory, and this is all I want to tell you that how close I came in contact with Swami.
I really appreciate that. I've read time and time again about what it was like at Mount Washington, and I've been to that same place at the Biltmore Hotel and heard Swami Kriyananda talk about what it was like when he left his body and read that poem, My India. And I urge everyone here to read that poem, My India, and his final words, I'm hallowed that my body touched that sod.
Yes.
And he consciously left his body as an enlightened yogi does. That was his Mahasamadhi. But what a wonderful honor for all of us to hear firsthand what it was like to be at that moment, and to hear about Master's kind spirit that just took you in, because that's what Master's doing for all of us, is taking us all in. If we come to Him, He's going to take us in, and He's going to bring us to that joy and make us feel that we are His and He is ours. So I just, again, I thank you.
Incidentally,
Yes, tell us.
his dead body
Yes.
laid there for 10 days without any sign of decay. And that even the Americans, they also felt that same way. No sign of decay for 10 days before funeral.
Yes, yes. Even the Americans had to admit that this was something much higher than science could understand. So, wow, we have a wonderful thing happening here in Baliganj now. I have some announcements that I want to make. Number one, Swami Kriyanandaji, he's on TV now every day. He will be on TV for the next 2 years. He's on the Sadhana channel. From 9 until 9:30 in the evening. And if you happen to have the service provider Tata Sky, you won't be able to see the Sadhana channel at 9:30. I'm trying to, but you can come to my assistant, Luis, and he can give you the email or the website address of, so you can watch the Sadhana channel on the internet. Or we can also explain other ways that you can watch Swami Kriyananda on
Which
TV.
channel is that?
This is Sadhana.
Sadhana channel. Oh, Sadhana. Yes,
Yes.
We get it.
Good, good. So you can watch Swami Kriyananda every night, 9 until 9:30. And do make sure that we have a little registration table here, that we get your name and email address and phone number, because we're going to be having many more events here in Baliganj. And so we want to be able to contact you. The next event that we will be having, of course, is level 1 and level 2 here tomorrow, where we will teach Hong Sa and energization, and we'll teach some of the practical How to Live series, is what the Raja Yoga book is. Then on Sunday, for those who have taken all of the, or enough of the level 2 classes, we're having a level 3 class. And if you've already taken level 3, please come back. We're going to review the Om technique and have a discipleship ceremony. But I want to invite everyone. We're going to have a free satsang Sunday evening. That will be 5:30 to 7 on Sunday, and it will be followed by a potluck. Many people will bring some food, and we will all eat together out here. So everyone is invited to that as well. So I think that's about it for announcements. Now, many people walked in late. So I like to end on time, like we said we're going to end on time, but if you have absolutely any questions, we'll be here for a little while, and we're here to answer all of your questions. And if we have a few minutes, I would like to end with perhaps a chant or a little, yes, we do have a few minutes. So we're going to play one chant. This is a chant of Paramhansa Yogananda. I played it in the beginning. It's very simple.